In the realm of natural disasters and human tragedy, few places evoke such a potent mix of enchantment and danger as a subterranean cavern. These dark, mysterious voids beneath the Earth's surface possess an almost mystical allure, yet they also harbor perilous threats. Many of these caves are highly susceptible to sudden floods, with powerful currents capable of tossing heavy boulders as if they were mere corks. Such conditions can turn an adventure into a fatal disaster, claiming lives in ways both devastating and, in some cases, preventable. One such catastrophe unfolded in Gouffre Berger, one of the deepest caves in Europe, located in the French Alps. Despite warnings from fellow cavers and the looming threat of treacherous weather conditions, 6 explorers entered the cave on Sunday, July 6, 1996. Only 4 would return. Discovered in 1953, Gouffre Berger had long stood as a beacon of adventure and exploration. However, beneath its majestic, awe-inspiring facade lay a treacherous domain where the line between triumph and catastrophe was razor-thin. This perilous truth was ignored, and tragically so, by one of Oxford University's most seasoned and highly regarded speleologists, Nicola Dollimore. It was in Le Grand Abîme, a formidable section of the cave, that she met her premature and harrowing demise. The expedition begins. Nicola Dollimore, an expert caver and lecturer, set off on an expedition into Gouffre Berger on Saturday, July 5, 1996. The conditions that day were seemingly ideal: clear skies and stable weather. She was accompanied by 5 other members of Oxford University's Cave Club and a team of Hungarian divers, including another future victim, Istvan, as well as her close colleague William Stead. Their descent into the cavern was initially smooth. With skill and efficiency, they navigated the steep drop from the cave's entrance and made their way toward its deepest passages, venturing further into the subterranean labyrinth. However, by the following day, disaster loomed. The sudden turn. A battle against the elements. By Sunday, July 6th, torrential rains had begun to pummel the region. What started as a routine exploration quickly spiraled into a nightmarish battle for survival. For over 24 hours, relentless downpours sent an overwhelming deluge of water rushing into the cave system, cutting off key escape routes and trapping the explorers deep underground. At a staggering depth of 2,600 meters, 8,530 feet, in one of Europe's most perilous underground networks, Nicola and her team found themselves fighting against an unstoppable force of nature. The floodwaters surged through the cave, severing their connection to the surface and leaving them stranded with dwindling food supplies and fading hope. Faced with imminent peril, the group made a desperate decision. They split into 2 teams of 3. The first team would stay behind to gather and secure their remaining equipment. The second team, composed of William Stead, Nicola Dollimore, and a Hungarian caver named Pivo, would attempt to escape to the surface. The escape attempt. A deadly climb. As the first group found themselves trapped in a flooded tributary at 1,000 meters, Nicola's group pushed forward, reaching a precarious point known as the Topographer's Waterfall in Le Grand Abîme. With no clear way forward, their only hope lay in scaling a treacherous, sheer rock wall, topped by a narrow 2-meter ledge. An ascent made all the more dangerous by the relentless, rising floodwaters. William Stead managed to climb first, barely making it up the 1.5-meter diagonal rope that led to safety. Pivo followed shortly after, struggling but ultimately succeeding in reaching the ledge. Nicola, however, found herself trapped in a nightmare. Despite exhausting all her strength, she could not ascend. The mechanical ascender she was using to grip the rope proved defective, preventing her from moving upward. The water levels continued to rise, drenching her in freezing torrents. Her companions made desperate efforts to pull her up, but their combined strength was not enough. In a horrifying turn of events, Nicola was left behind. As the rushing floodwaters surged above her head, her fellow divers were forced to abandon her, helpless against the sheer force of nature. What had begun as a manageable problem had escalated into a full-scale life-or-death crisis within minutes. Both William and Pivo used the last of their strength in an attempt to rescue Nicola. However, as the waters continued their merciless rise, they were forced to accept the grim reality. She was beyond saving. The rescue efforts and the inevitable tragedy. When Nicola and her team failed to emerge from the cave by Sunday night, alarm bells were sounded. A massive rescue operation was launched, involving over 200 volunteers, all converging on Gouffre Berger in a desperate bid to locate the missing cavers. For 2 long, agonizing days, teams of elite cave rescuers battled against the elements, navigating the treacherous depths of the cavern. Their efforts, however, were in vain. Nicola Dollimore's lifeless body was finally discovered 91 meters further into the cave. Her form twisted unnaturally, her face pressed against her bare feet, still clinging to the same 1.5-meter rope that had failed her in her final moments. Days later, the body of Istvan, another member of the expedition, was also found. He had perished, attempting to retrieve more equipment, drowned in the rising floodwaters. Aftermath and controversy. Nicola's death sparked intense debate within the caving community. Some insisted that the team had been fully prepared, emphasizing Nicola's extensive experience and skill. Others, including local experts and fellow cavers, questioned whether venturing into Gouffre Berger under such unpredictable weather conditions had been reckless. Further complicating the tragedy were conflicting autopsy reports. While some claimed Nicola had drowned, others suggested she had succumbed to strangulation due to equipment failure. Ultimately, given the dire circumstances, such disputes were rendered irrelevant. What remained undeniable was that the loss of Nicola Dollimore sent shockwaves far beyond the cave itself. A lasting legacy. The 1996 Gouffre Berger disaster left a permanent scar on the world of caving. It became a stark reminder of the fragility of life when faced with the ruthless and indifferent forces of nature. At Oxford University, faculty and students mourned Nicola's loss. Her grieving husband and family were shielded from the most harrowing details in the immediate aftermath. Across the speleological community, vigils were held in her memory, marking the collective sorrow of those who had known and admired her. To this day, the shadow of July 1996 looms over Gouffre Berger, a haunting testament to the dangers that lurk beneath the surface of the earth. For those who dare to explore the depths of the unknown, let this tragedy serve as a solemn warning. Respect the cave. Respect the forces of nature. Never underestimate the dangers that lie in the darkness below. As this account of Nicola Dollimore's final descent comes to a close, we leave you with a final, unbreakable rule. One should never play with the caves. Thank you for watching and supporting our channel. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more tales of adventure, tragedy, and the unknown.